Alright, first of all you need to allow this app through firewall, Windows firewall, and for that you just need simply to go to search bar and search for firewall. You will find an option which named allow an app through Windows firewall. Just click on that, and in next Windows click on change settings, so you will be able to change settings here. After that press the box which named allow another app. Click on browse and find the application path which is exe file. Click on the application and make sure that you choose network types private and public, and after that click on add, so you can add the application and you can let the application to pass through firewall. The next tip is about changing firewall on your router and disable it, and for that you just need to open internet browser and enter your router IP. Normally it's 192.168.1.1, and if you don't know what's the IP for your router, you can just take a look at your router box, or behind it you can find the IP. And normally the username and password is admin if you didn't change that. So if you don't know what's the username or password, or it's not admin, you can simply search for it or take a look at your router box or behind it. Alright, you can find firewall in advanced setup or maybe somewhere else, it depends on your router. You just need to find firewall and disable it, turn it off if it's on by default, because most of the times it's on by default. After turning off, save the settings and restart your router. Most of the times it will fix the problem and you don't need to do anything else. But if you still had problem for playing Fall Guys, there is another option so you can fix the problem for good. For that you just need to open ports on your router or your ISP. First of all you need to go to ping.eu for TCP ports and another address that you can see here for UDP ports. You just need to check UDP and TCP ports which are necessary for playing this game on PC. These are necessary ports for Fall Guys on Steam or PC, and you need to check them to see if you have access to these ports. If you don't have access or they are closed on your ISP or your router, you will get problem for playing. Alright, when you want to test a port in this site, you just need to put your IP address here. For example, here I'm gonna copy my IP address and then write the port number on the box and enter the code and select go. For example, here you can see port 80 is open for TCP in my connection. My connection is UDP actually, so you don't need to check all TCP or all UDP and see if they are open. If UDP ports are open, you are okay, or if TCP ports are open, it's okay. You just need to make sure that one of them, TCP or UDP ports, are open. And if you did see, for example, a port is closed on your IP or your ISP, first of all make sure that you test UDP ports on the other side, and if it was open, it's okay, you don't need to change it. But if it was closed on TCP and UDP both, you just need to go to your router and open the ports for port forwarding. For example, here you can see UDP port is open for me. I'll check all UDP ports and they were open for me. But if you had a problem, let me show you how to fix it. First of all, you need to make sure that your ISP didn't block any ports. You need to call them and ask them if they did block ports on UDP or TCP, and if they did say it's okay, your NAT type is okay and your ports are open, you just need to fix it on your router. For example, in this ADSL router, I have an option which named NAT. In NAT, I can go to virtual server and open the ports for TCP or UDP or both. You can select the name for this application. For example, here Fall Guys, you can name it anything that you want to, and also you need to find your local IP address which your PC is connected to your router. And to find that, you just need to go to settings, and in network settings you have option to see the properties for your connections. For example, here I use ADSL, so I'm gonna see what's the local IP address for ADSL. Once you found that, you just need to put the ports here. For example, if you want to add ports from 3478 to 3480, you just need to put the first port number in start port number and higher value in the end port number, and after that just save the settings and restart your router. It might be different in different routers. For example, in this TD-LTE you can see I have an option which named port management, so it might be different. For example, here I have the name port forwarding, but I need to add them separately. For example, I need to add 1935 for TCP and UDP separately. I can't add both. So it depends on your router, but you need to add them on port forwarding and apply that and make sure that the ports are open on your router now. Also, most of the times you don't need to add these ports if you have NAT type 2 and if you did turn firewall off, you're all okay. Alright, the last method is changing DNS, and for that you need to go to search and search for network connections, and in this window select the connection that you're using for playing. I have multiple connections, but I use ADSL for playing. For example, I need to choose ADSL and by right click select the properties. After that select Internet Protocol version 4, and in that section you can choose the DNS that you want to, and if they didn't work for you or they were bad for you, you can use the other DNS that I put them in the description, so you can use them instead of Google DNS. But you can choose this DNS first because it's one of the best DNS for using.